Hi everyone, it's John from What Up? We're nearing the end of the year, and with that, the end of the decade. This morning, Madden did send out a tweet, as you can see it up here on the screen, that says the only way to wrap the last day of shooting for the decade, hashtag Wheel of Time on Prime. And it shows Joshua Stradowski, Madden, and a few members of the crew, and Joshua's basically getting pampered. It's kind of a fun, neat little way to say that they finished filming for the year. So we know they're done now for the month, and they'll come back in January, and they will film again until May, and then in May they'll wrap up, and that'll be the end of filming for season one. They'll go into post-production, and we'll probably see a trailer and some other stuff after that. So it's been a bit of a slow news week, so I've decided to do this video. This video is going to be everything we know about the Wheel of Time on Prime. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to talk about every little bit of knowledge. I'm not going to go in depth like I normally would in my videos because there's a lot of stuff to cover. But for those of you who may be watching this later on, this is current up until December 20th, 2019. Now, before we get into any of that, there's a couple little housekeeping items I want to get through. First one is spoilers. For this video, there will be very slight spoilers for the Wheel of Time series. So a little bit for The Eye of the World, the first book, a little bit for The Great Hunt. And when I say a little bit, it'll be nothing about the plots, nothing about the characters themselves, nothing that will spoil your experience if you haven't read the book series or if you want to watch the show fresh. We'll talk about names of places, names of characters, things like that, but I'm not going to go into the depth I normally go into in my videos, just because A, I don't want to spoil anything for you folks, and B, there's a lot to cover. This is probably going to be split up into multiple videos, depending on the time. Second thing I want to cover here is we do have a lot of new subscribers to the channel, and I want to welcome you all. Thank you very much for viewing the videos and subscribing, and I hope you do enjoy the content I do put out. Now, the biggest Wheel of Time YouTuber that I know of, Nate Bliss, he gave me a shout out this week. Not just me, he gave multiple smaller Wheel of Time YouTube channels a shout out in his channel. Now, he has a ton of subscribers, he has a very big fan base, and he's been doing this quite some time. And the rest of us, we're all fairly new to the game. And don't get me wrong, I'm really enjoying what I'm doing, but it takes time to grow a channel, it takes time to get a fan base, takes time to get people to watch your videos. And if someone at the caliber of Nate Bliss gives us a shout out, it's a big, big help to us. And I do want to thank him very much for that. On behalf of everyone here at What Up, and if you guys don't subscribe to him, which I'm shocked if you don't, I put a link to his channel down in the description box down below, so you can take a look at that there. And again, I do want to thank Nate Bliss for the shout out. All right, so this video, we're going to start with the characters. There's a whole slew of characters that have been cast that we know for sure. And I'm basically going to go by everything is gospel. A lot of these things have been announced by Wheel of Time on Prime. So Amazon Prime has put them out. Rafe, the showrunner, put them out. But some of the stuff that we just know is happening because of the actors' CVs, because the casting agencies have put stuff out, because of different interviews in different magazines and other publications. So I'll mention that as we go through which things Wheel of Time did put out, which things were sort of leaked, because even some of the leaks that we have, Amazon hasn't actually confirmed them yet, even though we know for sure and we can almost 100% with all surety say that these people are playing the characters that we know of. I'll still let you know that what is 100% from Amazon and what is basically pulled from other sources. All right, so let's get into the characters. All right, now on to the characters. Our first character, and I'm not going through these in any particular order, so not in the order they're released, so don't worry about that, is Moiraine Sedai. She is played by Rosamund Pike. Everyone pretty much can recognize her. She's a very well-known television and movie actress. Her warder, Alan Mandragoran, has been cast, and Daniel Henney is playing him. Again, another very well-known television actor, and he brings a lot of experience to the show. Now that brings us to the three boys from Emond's Field. These three boys are basically central to all of the plot lines of the books. The first one is played by Joshua Stradowski. He is playing Randall Thor. Then we have Barney Harris, who plays Matt Cauthon, one of Rand's two best friends from Emond's Field, and then we have his third best friend, Perrin Abaya, played by Marcus Rutherford. Now, these three particular young men don't have a whole lot of acting experience behind them, so they are fresh faces, but according to Rafe, the showrunner, they blew everyone away at the readings. All right, our next character is Egwene. She is played by Madden, the lady who put out the tweet that we seen earlier. She is a former love interest of Rand's in the books, and she accompanies the boys upon their journeys. Then we have Nynaeve. She is the wisdom of Emond's Field, and she's played by Zoë Robins. She also eventually becomes one of the main characters in the books. Then we have Tam al'Thor, Rand's father, and he is played by the same actor that plays Roose Bolton, Michael McElhatton. And you probably recognize him from Game of Thrones. Another really big name, and he is he's not going to be in the first season very much that we know of if they follow the books, but he has become an important character later on. All right, our next character we have is Logain the False Dragon. He doesn't factor into the first few books very much, although we do see him later on in the series, although Rafe the showrunner had said that he wants to expand upon that, and we do know that he's going to be in at least a couple of the episodes in the first season. And he is played by Álvaro Morte, a Spanish actor who is huge. Maybe not in the English world, but he is a massive actor in the Spanish-speaking world. And then we have Loial, who is an ogre, basically a humanoid giant type character, who is played by, and I have a hard time with this name, Hamid Animashaun. I do apologize if I said your name wrong. The boys meet him in the first book, and then he becomes another main character all the way through the rest of the books as well. Our next character is Padan Fain. He is a peddler that comes to the Two Rivers quite often, at least yearly. He interacts with the boys, and he does become pretty central to a lot of plot lines later on in the books. And he is played by Johann Myers. All right, our next character is Thom Merrilin. He is a gleeman, so sort of like a traveling minstrel. He was a court bard at one point or another, so he does flips and tricks and a lot of singing and dancing, and he entertains. He travels the world and entertains. And he is played by Alexandre Willaume. It was initially a leak through his Instagram, and then it was announced by Amazon Prime later on. That's the character he'd be playing. Next is Master Hightower. He is the ferry master in Terran Ferry, and the boys meet him, as we know, in the second episode of the season, according to the leaks. And he is only seen for one little bit. He is played by Pierce Quigley, as you can see on the screen here now. All right, our next character is Eamon Valda. He is a high-ranking White Cloak, so a Children of the Light, who hate the Aes Sedai, and they hate everything they stand for. He is played by Abdul Salas. All right, our next character is Trolloc, an unnamed Trolloc. Trollocs are the foot soldiers of the shadow in the books. They're a mixture of animal and man. They're quite large, burly, and pretty evil. Now, this man here, Roman Dvorak, and I apologize if I said your name wrong, he's a stuntman, and he has been cast to play an unnamed Trolloc. Now, I say unnamed because there's a lot of speculation that he'll play Narg, the only Trolloc that we really know the name of in the books, who's got kind of a cult following. My guess is he may play Narg. However, they usually take stuntmen or other actors and they put them in prosthetics and makeup for the close-up shots of, monsters or creatures. So when you look at the Lord of the Rings movies, the orcs, most of them are CG. They had a few actors in prosthetics for the close-up shots. So that's probably what they're going to do here. All right, now we have Abell Cauthon. This is Matt's father in the books. He's played by Christopher Sheriff. This was kind of a leak from his CV in the casting agency. Amazon Prime didn't announce it, but it's pretty airtight. It's solid. He is going to be playing Matt's father. Then we have Matt's mother, Nanny Cauthon, played by Juliet Howland. Again, same source. Her CV and the casting agency kind of leaked this. It wasn't confirmed by Amazon Prime, but it's pretty airtight. We know that she's going to be playing this character. They don't factor into the first book very much, so we probably won't see them in the first season very much, although they are recurring characters and we will see them later on. Now, the next two characters are, and I'm going to say this probably incorrectly, and I apologize, played by the Buitasavina sisters. They are twin sisters, and they will be playing Bode and Eldrin Cauthon, Matt's little sisters. Again, they don't feature very much in the first book, so we probably won't see them much in the first season, but they are recurring characters, and we will see them again later on. All right, so now we're going to get into some unknowns. These are characters that we know are cast in the show, but we only know the actor or actress's names. We don't know the actual character names or who they'll be playing. It's a lot of speculation going around, but no one really knows. All right, so this First Lady was in the table read video that Amazon Prime put out for a Wheel of Time Wednesday. So there was a bunch of people sitting around a table and they're going through the script. She was in the video. We don't know which role she's playing. Her name is Lolita, and I'm going to say this completely wrong, Chakrabarti. And I do apologize, ma'am, if I said your name wrong. We're not sure which character she's playing. We just know that she's in the show. Now we have Daryl McCormack. He did an interview with Variety, and he basically said that he's in the show, and he's in a few episodes. So he's in more than one episode. A lot of speculation who he would be playing, but no one really knows for sure. And the last character that everyone is speculating about that we don't really know who she's playing is, and I'm going to say this name incorrectly, and I do apologize, Nana Egwene Empadu. Again, she's been cast in a role. We're not sure of which role she's cast in or what she's playing, but we do know that she is in the first season. All right, so I've saved the last character or person or actress rather that we know has been cast in the show for last, basically because I consider her to be the most controversial casting. Helena Westerman is her name, and she is cast as Layla Abera. Now, that is the name that was given as the person she was cast as. In the books, there's no real Layla Abera. She's not really mentioned by name. So this is the first character we see that is potentially completely made up or is an amalgam of other characters. There is a Layla in the books who Perrin does meet later on, and he does say that she was a former love interest of him, someone that he would have married. So there's been a lot of speculation. Is she Perrin's wife in the books? Is she, one of his sisters? No one really knows. We do have the name Layla Abera, but we don't know what that means to us, really. So that's why I consider it controversial, because it's the first thing that we know for sure is a major deviation, at least in some way, shape, or form. All right, so that's all the characters that we know of that have been cast in the Wheel of Time series so far. Now, I do want to thank you all before I go for subscribing to the channel and for watching the videos and for liking the videos. I do this for two reasons. One, for you folks, because you all enjoy it and you're watching the videos, and the second, because I really do enjoy it myself. This is a lot of fun for me. So as long as you're watching the videos, I'll keep making them. We'll do a part 2 to this video probably in the next 24 to 48 hours, I would guess, that will cover everything else: directors, writers, composers, pictures, sets, all that stuff, because the characters did take up quite a bit of time. So let me know what you think of the video down in the comment box down below. If you have any comments about the castings. I know I said Helena was the most controversial in my opinion, but there has been a lot of discussion about some of the other castings. Let me know what you think about them down below. And if you have any suggestions for videos or anything you'd like to see, my Twitter handle's also down in the description box down below. Shoot me a DM or tag me in something on Twitter, and I'll see what I can do about that. All right, I want to thank you all for watching and subscribing to the channel, and here's to many more.